When a mysterious and inwardly obsessive new teacher named Sister Sophia begins to feel an uncontrollable desire for her innocent yet famous student Jason, she gradually starts crossing boundaries that no one could have imagined, and her obsession soon takes a dangerously dark turn. The story begins with Jason, a highly talented boy who, apart from being a student, is also a popular singer and a well-known social media influencer. After summer vacation, his parents drop him and his younger sister Joey at a strict and highly disciplined Catholic school, where his former classmate Sarah already has a liking for him. At the school, they are introduced to senior teacher Sister Rebecca, who calls the newly appointed Sister Sophia into her office and explains the strict rules and regulations of the institution, one of which clearly states that no teacher is allowed to wear makeup. Upon hearing this, Sister Sophia quietly wipes off her lipstick, and then Rebecca takes her on a complete tour of the school. During the tour, they encounter Jason, and Rebecca introduces him to Sophia as her new class teacher. The moment Sophia sees Jason, something about his demeanor strikes her as different, prompting her to ask Rebecca about him. Rebecca tells her that a few days ago, Jason had crashed his father's car while intoxicated, which has caused his father to remain angry with him. She also informs Sophia that Jason is a social media celebrity with a large following. Later, when Sophia reaches her room, she looks at Jason's photo and ends up kissing her laptop screen, making it very clear that she already knew about him and is, in fact, a die-hard fan. The next day, during her first class, Sophia notices Jason and Sarah talking and laughing together, and out of jealousy, she orders Sarah to move to the front seat. Joey, Jason's younger sister, finds this behavior a little strange, especially considering the conservative and disciplined environment of the Catholic school, where such personal interference by teachers is considered highly inappropriate. Before beginning the class, when Joey says, "Sister, let's start with a prayer," and the rest of the students join in, she notices that Sister Sophia doesn't close her eyes or participate in the prayer at all. Joey observes her behavior and later tells her brother Jason about it, but Jason is too busy texting Sarah to pay any real attention to Joey's concerns. Slowly, Jason begins to get trapped in this twisted affection, completely unaware that it could eventually destroy his life. After school ends, Sister Sophia manages to catch Jason alone and, during a light conversation, unexpectedly asks, "Jason, is Sarah your girlfriend?" To this, Jason smiles and casually replies, "No sister, I don't have a girlfriend yet." Hearing this, Sophia's face lights up with a joy that subtly reveals the madness she's been hiding beneath her composed exterior. But this moment of happiness doesn't last long. The very next morning, Sophia's world shatters like fragile glass when she sees Jason and Sarah kissing. Feeling her heart break, she sends Jason away to class and stops Sarah to confront her privately. With visible rage and disappointment, she scolds Sarah and gives her a very clear warning to stay away from Jason. Later that day, Sophia once again meets Jason and brings up the topic, saying, "Jason, you told me you didn't have a girlfriend, then what was going on between you and Sarah?" Jason is left speechless and doesn't have a clear answer. Sensing his hesitation, Sophia quickly changes the subject and tells him she wants to discuss something about his academics, and for that, he should come to her room. Her tone and behavior suggest that what she feels for Jason is far from normal, and as Jason unknowingly steps deeper into her dangerous web of obsession, he has no idea that this toxic attraction could soon lead to terrifying consequences. A little while later, when Jason walks towards Sister Sophia's room, he finds the door slightly open and is shocked to see her deliberately applying moisturizer on her semi-nude body. The sight stuns him. It's an unsettling, unexpected moment that clearly reveals Sophia left the door open on purpose to get his attention. The next day, Sophia asks Jason why he didn't come to see her, to which he lies and says he forgot, apologizing half-heartedly. A few days later, over the weekend, Jason and Joey are taken home by their parents, and Sophia becomes restless in his absence. She finds herself unable to focus on anything at school, and using the excuse of her aunt's illness, she takes a leave from Sister Rebecca and heads toward Jason's city. Meanwhile, Jason, tired of his strict academic life, tells his father that he wants to take a year off from school to pursue his passion, but his father sternly refuses and insists he focus on his studies. This leads to an argument between the two, and in frustration, Jason storms out of the house and starts singing alone in the open. At the same time, Sophia, now on leave from school, secretly watches Jason from outside his home. But her growing madness takes an even darker turn when she sees him receiving a call from Sarah. Furious and obsessed, Sophia decides that if she wants Jason for herself, she must first eliminate Sarah from the picture. That very night, under the cover of darkness, Sophia sneaks into the hostel and enters Sarah's room. She hides drugs in Sarah's textbooks, setting her up for scandal and disgrace. But as she is exiting the room, she is caught off guard by Sister Rebecca, who sees her and, surprised, asks what she is doing in Sarah's room so late at night. Prepared with a ready excuse, Sophia quickly lies and says she heard a strange noise and came to check if everything was alright. The following morning, a dramatic moment unfolds in class. Sister Sophia proceeds with the next part of her plan. She instructs all students to take out their books. As soon as Sarah opens hers, Sophia, feigning tiredness, swiftly discovers the hidden drugs, which she had planted the night before. Pretending to be outraged, she publicly shames Sarah, shouting at her and declaring sternly, "You will be severely punished for this behavior." News of the incident spreads quickly throughout the school, and without any investigation, the authorities suspend Sarah, effectively expelling her from the school. The story then shifts into a flashback, revealing a shocking truth. Sophia's obsession began the very first time she saw Jason singing on social media. She had been captivated ever since and, in her twisted desire to be close to him, she made contact with the real Sister Sophia, the one who was soon to be transferred to Jason's school. But before the transfer could happen, this obsessed woman murdered the real Sophia and assumed her identity to gain access to the school and, ultimately, to Jason. Returning to the present, we see Jason planting trees on campus as part of a school activity. Sister Sophia approaches him, pretending to help, and gradually starts to touch him inappropriately under the guise of innocent assistance. From a distance, Joey watches this unfold and becomes absolutely certain that something is deeply wrong. That night, Sophia secretly sneaks into Jason's room and turns on the video recording on her preset phone, preparing to take her twisted obsession to a horrifying new level. When Jason suddenly wakes up and sees Sister Sophia in his room, he's completely shocked. But Sophia immediately begins to comfort and seduce him, using her manipulative charm. At first, Jason resists, but Sophia cunningly takes advantage of his vulnerable emotional state and ultimately traps him in her web. The two end up being physically intimate. However, the next day, as the memories of the night come flooding back, Jason begins to mentally and emotionally crumble. Guilt overwhelms him, and he regrets the grave mistake he feels he has committed. To lighten the burden on his soul, he decides to go to the church and confess before the Father. But as he begins to seek forgiveness, he is stunned once again. Sitting in front of him is not the Father, but Sister Sophia herself. Before he can even process what's happening, Sophia pulls him into her lap again and once more uses physical affection to seduce him into intimacy. After this disturbing encounter, the weekend arrives, and Jason leaves for home. As soon as he reaches, he receives a message from Sarah inviting him to a party, signaling a new turn in the story. That night, Jason asks his father for permission to attend Sarah's party, but his father firmly refuses, resulting in yet another heated argument. Enraged, Jason storms out of the house without permission and heads towards Sarah's place, unaware that Sister Sophia is secretly following him from the shadows. When Jason arrives at Sarah's house, she offers him coffee and takes him to her room. But just as they begin to grow close, flashes of the shameful and traumatic moments he shared with Sophia invade his mind. Panic-stricken, he grabs a bottle of alcohol and leaves abruptly. On the way, the police catch him with the bottle, but suddenly, Sophia appears and, using her charm and manipulation, convinces the officers to let Jason go. She then takes him to a nearby hotel room. Meanwhile, back home, Jason's mother talks to his father and helps him realize that they've been too harsh on Jason. She insists that if Jason wants to take a year off to pursue his passion, he deserves a chance. This softens the father's heart, and he sets off to bring Jason back home. At the hotel, as Jason begins to feel slightly at ease, Sophia starts undressing, attempting to seduce him once again. But this time, Jason stops her and tells her firmly that whatever happened between them was a mistake and nothing like it will ever happen again. Sophia, now deeply consumed by madness, insists that they were meant to be together and should never part. Jason, completely unfazed by her emotional outburst, walks out of the room, leaving Sophia trembling in rage and obsession. On the other hand, Jason's father finally finds him, apologizes, and gives him permission to take a year-long break from school so he can focus on his true passion. The next day, Jason and Joey return to school. When Jason enters his hostel room, he finds Sophia lying unconscious on the floor. Alarmed, he tries to wake her up, until he suddenly realizes she's faking it. Furious, Jason tells her he's going to report everything to the father. But Sophia boldly confronts him and warns that if he does so, she'll expose his relationship with a teacher to everyone. Her threat leaves Jason stunned. He now understands that he is completely trapped, and no one may believe his side of the story. Meanwhile, during a regular school class, Sister Rebecca unexpectedly brings Sarah back to the campus. The very sight of Sarah alive and back in school sends Sister Sophia spiraling into deeper madness. Overcome with rage, she storms into her room, begins banging her head against the walls, and starts behaving in a completely unhinged manner, making it clear that her mental state is deteriorating dangerously. Then, under the cover of night, the story takes its darkest turn yet. As Sarah is taking a shower in the bathroom, Sophia, now consumed entirely by madness, sneaks in and brutally kills her by repeatedly slamming her head against the wall. She then throws soap on the floor to stage it as a slip and fall accident. The next morning, when Joey enters the bathroom, she screams in horror upon discovering Sarah's lifeless body. Panic spreads throughout the school, and the body is sent for a postmortem. Meanwhile, at the church, Jason is deeply disturbed and suspects foul play. He confronts Sophia and says, "I'm certain you're the one behind Sarah's death." In response, Sophia calmly plays a video clip of the intimate moment between them and threatens, "If you say a word about Sarah's death to anyone, I'll make this video go viral." The next day, as Jason prepares to go home, Sophia once again lies to Sister Rebecca, claiming her aunt has passed away, and takes leave to follow him. However, this time, when Sister Rebecca calls the address Sophia gave to send flowers, she learns that there has been no death at all, and more shockingly, no one named Sophia even lives there. Suspicion immediately takes root. On the other side, Joey, noticing Jason's growing anxiety, finally asks him what's wrong. Jason, unable to bear the burden anymore, tells her everything, confessing the entire horrifying story. The next day, the siblings quietly sneak into Sophia's room, where they discover 2 laptops, one belonging to the real Sister Sophia, and the other to the imposter, whose actual name is Laura. At the same time, Sister Rebecca uncovers the full truth and heads to report it to the father. But just as she's about to do so, Laura ambushes her from behind and knocks her unconscious. Meanwhile, Jason and Joey are searching for Sister Rebecca to share what they've found, but they end up face to face with Laura, now completely unhinged and dangerous. Seeing Jason holding her laptop, Laura instantly realizes her secret has been exposed. With wild desperation, she confesses her love to Jason in a deranged tone. But Jason and Joey ignore her and try to walk away. Enraged, Laura attacks from behind and slashes Joey, injuring her. Witnessing his sister bleeding, Jason is overcome with rage and tries to strangle Laura, but she fights back and stabs him too. Now bloodied and insane, Laura approaches Joey to finish her off. Just in time, Sister Rebecca, having regained consciousness, arrives and tries to stop Laura, but Laura begins attacking her as well. In a final act of desperation, Jason pulls a screwdriver from his pocket and plunges it deep into Laura's back, killing her instantly. The story closes on the school's graduation day. Jason's father gifts him a brand new guitar, symbolizing a new beginning. Jason, now finally free from the terrifying nightmare and obsessive madness that haunted him, smiles peacefully, and with that, the story comes to an end.